Again, where I'm going with all this is that I don't see the emergency on this, and yeah, I'm going to ask a deferral, or if not, I will, 5-day rule it. Thank you.
Okay.
Mr.
Yes,
Chairman,
Commissioner Dunn.
I just need some clarification on, and I think that's what we've been, I'm hearing that it is an emergency, and I'm hearing it's not an emergency. I just need some guidance. Someone needs to help convince me.
The emergency, as I view it, is from a timing standpoint. If we wait till the next commission meeting, the legislature has gone far enough where you can't pull back the legislation that could negatively affect us.
Can I try to explain that a little bit?
Sure.
This is going to be attached to a 100-page bill. It's going to be on page like 73. And it's the appropriations bill for the entire state of Florida, Florida Department of Transportation. It is not going to be sticking out like a sore thumb. And once it gets past a certain committee level, it will just become automatic. And remember, the governor does not have line item veto power. So while it's playing a game of brinksmanship, you have, what do you have to gain and what do you have to lose? It is a net sum analysis that this commission has to play. I'm a little surprised to hear the statements by Mr. Menendez, because it was quite opposite. I never got my second Ron Book call, but I was supposed to get a second Ron Book call. I didn't get it. I've made connection with the entire day delegation up there, and the best they can tell me is there's a very high potential this will become law. So if this does become law, just so you know, you're all going to be facing a $4.1 million further shortfall next year, and whether you believe it or not, care for it or not, a $2.5 million inability if you ever want to do a media tower. That's all. That's the choice you have to make. And what I was trying to say very clearly is, what does that choice mean, not in some psychological terms of dollars, but what is the real choice? Because you're either going to take it out of the employee's compensation, or you're going to cut elderly services, you're going to cut after-school programs. That's your choices.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Okay, these are all the reports. Yesterday at 3:42, I'm sorry, it wasn't 3:52, at 3:42. There's no mention of it. I've spoken to legislators. As a matter of fact, I spoke to the Senate president, and he didn't see that urgency either. He actually told me, I like your chances. So either we're getting different information or so forth, but if that's the case, why do we have lobbyists? Why do we have our liaison? And that's what I'm saying. Let's have some transparency. Why isn't the media reporting on this? If we're really going to lose, or the potential of losing all that money. And again, I want to see exactly what is the amount. I'm not sure if it's 4.1 or so forth. I know this year we haven't gotten anywhere near 4.1 million. And if you want, you could ask the budget director to come and see if we actually have gotten near 4.1. She's going to tell you no. So yes, I know you're looking at the spreadsheet that I was giving at 7-something at night last night. So unfortunately, I have not had the time to review it, and that's why I truly feel we need to defer this unless someone can prove to us that yes, there's an emergency, the sky is falling, and the whole 9 yards, how it's portrayed in the past.
Mr. Byers, Mayor, I understand your concerns, and I think the early concerns that you have that we've talked about, the people taking your lunch away, and my lunch never been taken away, and I can see that point. But we talk about transparency. Yes, we have transparency in here because we have the Sunshine Law that was passed by the legislators. But unfortunately, the Sunshine Law does not apply to the legislators.
Exactly.
They can get together in the back room and they can work any deal they want, and nobody knows about it. We have to bring it up in the open. My question was, and I like to see the different chances and opportunities that we have. I asked staff to give me a report, and I think you all received a copy of that report, to give me the option, what would happen if we settled today, if we signed a settlement today, what would happen if we were losing Tallahassee, and what would happen even if we win in Tallahassee? What is the benefit to the city of Miami? Because I have to look what is going to benefit the city of Miami. And I'm glad you bring all this point up here because I think it's important we bring it up. But unfortunately, I get in different feedback than you are. And I think the legislator, like I tell you, they don't have to do this in the public. They can do it in the back rooms, and they can do it indoors. They don't have to notify people. I think we maintain our transparency by bringing all these issues here and asking all the questions. So if you guys would like to listen to the three options, it'd be important.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I've listened to what everyone has to say. I'm ready to discuss this issue today. I am not particularly persuaded by the legislation. I'm not fearful of the legislation. I think we took a hard line during the litigation, and the city prevailed, and we were unanimous in that decision. But I'm ready to discuss it now. I don't. If we can discuss the merits of it, this package, and the vice chairman has every right to invoke the 5-day rule on the substitutions that were given to him beyond the 5-day rule. I'm not sure what the changes have been in the substitutions. I don't think that they're that drastic, but it's up to you. It's your choice, as far as whether or not you want to proceed with the discussion. I'm ready to proceed with the discussion and analyze the deal on its merits and make a decision based on the merits of the deal, not based on some potential legislation that may or may not happen. Our credibility may or may not be at stake in Tallahassee. I don't know, what kind of credibility we have in Tallahassee to begin with. So, I'm ready to discuss the merits of the legislation and make a decision. As far as whether it's an emergency or not an emergency, we're going to either decide it today, or we're going to decide it in 2 weeks, or we're going to decide it in 4 weeks or in 6 weeks. I don't know that it's going to change substantially in substance from what it is now. If you feel that it will, I don't know.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, Vice Mayor.
I'm not saying it's going to change in substance or not. And what I've always said, vote it up or down. And I truly feel in the near future or in the future, we're all going to have to justify our votes.
Absolutely.
So I've always said vote it up or down, but give me the information so that I can read with a reasonable amount of time so that I can come up with my conclusion and vote on it. When I am receiving information at 7-something at night, when I requested it on April the 5th, it's not correct. And that was the purpose of the 5-day rule. That's exactly why, when we received substitutions less than 48 hours ago, and in all fairness, yes, there was a lot of things that were changed, but I shouldn't say this because I'm not an attorney, but you all know you change one word, and it could just be a totally different agreement. So, yes, you're ready to discuss it, but I'm not because I don't have all the details. And once I have all the details, as a matter of fact, even the numbers that Commissioner Sarnoff is giving, they may be correct. I'm just saying, I'm not sure. I could tell you this. I know that this year we have received nowhere near $4.1 million. So I'm not sure where those numbers are coming from. I don't know if that's from our finance department. I'm not sure who's providing those numbers. If someone could tell me who's providing that spreadsheet. I know I received it from Vanessa at 7-something at night last night, but.
Mr. Chair, while they're waiting, if I may.
Yes.
Would you consider maybe tabling it?
This is not tabling. This is
too voluminous.
This is voluminous. So, I make a motion to request on EM1, RE 13 and 14 to defer until the next commission meeting.
Mr. Chair, if I may.
Sorry.
It's a public hearing, I believe. Madam City Attorney.
I'm not opening the public hearing. Will you please sit down?
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
I made a motion. I don't know if it's going to be second.
Phil for lack of second.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
I'd like to invoke the 5-day rule then.
Okay.
On EM1, RE 13 and RE 14.
Can we have a
All
special,
of them.